Well, hello there, and welcome to episode 3 of Steve Monosson's podcast of no return. Welcome all. I am Steve Monosson, and defying incalculable odds. You try saying that. Incalculable. See, the police are, you hear them in the background, they're concerned. At any rate, I guess I'm going to have to call 911 and tell them that it's really not that much of an emergency, that there are greater emergencies to be taken care of, other than my difficulties with saying a hard-to-pronounce word. All right, this week it's going to be a little bit different. Graham will not be joining us. Sorry, but he's out west visiting a modem friend of his in Silicon Valley. And some hope he will stay there, but we shall see. Instead, we will be joined by a special guest after what I'm calling Part 1A of this week's comedic offering, The Battle for the Soul of Hank Panky. Part 1A coming right up. So sit back and relax as our fearless announcer, intrepid, it's the same meaning, Carl LaFong, capital L, small a, capital F, small O, small a, small g. He will set the scene for you. I will see you at the break.
So guess what, folks? We're back in Anytown, USA. Once again. Apparently Steve Monosson just can't get enough of this place. Some people dig Acapulco. Monosson's idea of heaven is spending eternity in this dump. Locale. And not only that, we're right back where we started, at the Last Chance Employment Agency. Hank Panky's still doing his Hank Panky thing, and we join him now as he waxes poetic to perhaps the only entity in the universe who really listens to him, his voice recorder. And so we bring you the battle for Hank Panky's soul. Can't see there's much of a battle there, as his soul's been in the crapper since day one, but what the... Hey, give a listen, and I'll be back after the show for the happy recap. Bartender!
Another day here of donating my services to mankind, doing my part to make the world a better place where I could otherwise be making tens of thousands of dollars a day satisfying women across the globe. Yes, working here at the Last Chance Employment Agency, giving hope to those who would otherwise have none, is a far greater reward in itself than jet-setting with socialites for a week in Monte Carlo or hobnobbing with the well-heeled in the Hamptons, a seductive heiress on my arm. No. Wait, what am I saying? I must be crazy! Where's the number of that male escort agency? I'm all in! What's up, Gladys?
Your father wants to see you in his office right away.
Oh, tell him I'm busy. Tell him I went for a walk with the March of Dimes. Ooh, or better, a client has challenged me to a duel with swords, and I'm working on my technique. Touché!
He says if you give a ridiculous excuse, he's gonna dock you a month's pay.
What? He can't do that. I need money.
That's what he thought you'd say.
The man knows my weakness. He's ridiculously savvy that way. Tell him I'll be there in a minute.
Yes, Hank.
And so, the sacrifice continues. Working for the man instead of working with the ladies. I'll catch you later, you sexy little machine, you. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Father, what brings you here this morning? What a pleasant surprise.
Sit down and shut it before I shut it for you.
Oh, yes. How could I forget? You're the boss here. I just get so wrapped up in my work that I forget which way is left. You're right, isn't so much of a problem, though.
I can believe you'd get lost trying to find your way out of a men's room, but your work is another story.
What are you saying, Pop? I'm as dedicated to my work as a monkey is to bananas.
Will you stop it? I need to talk to you about something serious.
Something serious? Oh, it sounds... serious.
Yes, it is. If you can get that through your dingbat skull of yours. Our revenues have taken a nosedive. We're just not finding these people jobs.
But that's absurd. I send out dozens of people every day.
That's the problem. You send out dozens of people, and those same people are back the next day looking for work.
You know, I thought they looked familiar.
Now listen. I know we're not dealing with the workforce elite out there, but we have to start doing a better job of finding these people employment. We get government subsidies strictly because we take on the neediest cases. But we have to show some results or we'll lose that money. Now, I'm not expecting miracles, but I am expecting you to give it your all.
How do you mean?
For one, stop talking into that blasted voice recorder all day and get on the phone. Find suitable places for these people to work.
But I do that.
Yesterday, you sent 17 people to apply for one position at the same car wash.
17? Are you sure you're not thinking of the magazine, sir?
Okay, I've said what needs to be said. Get back to work, or you'll be the 18th applicant for that car wash job.
You know, I don't think that suits me. Although putting the finishing touches on a car interior while engaging the driver in delightful repartee would certainly be a boon to the car wash.
Out!
Yes, sir! Jeez. Listening to him, you'd think I wasn't engaging in a life of extreme self-sacrifice after all. Yes, Gladys?
All right. What does Gladys want?
What does Gladys want?
I know you listeners out there are on the edge of your seat or cabana chair or pontoon.
I really hope people are on the edge of a pontoon listening to this. Just somewhere like on the Amazon. Just floating down like Heart of Darkness style. Just floating along. For no reason, they're playing a podcast through a ham radio, like inexplicably.
True, yes. I'm working on the ham radio access. So I got a potential listener in Turkmenistan. He doesn't speak any English, but he's interested nonetheless. And he does have a ham radio. So, and perhaps maybe even a pontoon, even though it's a landlocked country.
They gotta have lakes.
Possibly.
I know. I say that so definitively. Wait, I think I saw their national flag actually, and it said Turkmenistan, lakeless land.
It's not a very hospitable place to visit.
It's on their flag.
It's true because the butter, the Land O'Lakes butter, is banned there, so as not to give people hope.
I came here because for the butter and the lakes.
You've got black market Turkmenistan butter if there's a big X on your package.
Just crossing out the word lakes and the picture of the lake.
A big N instead of in front of the O. Land no lakes.
land no lakes.
Well, that's 21st century Turkmenistan living for you. So, we are on a break here from part 1A.
What does Gladys want?
What does Gladys want of Hank? Yeah, and we are talking today with Brennan Lowery. The episode is called The Battle for the Soul of Hank Panky, and Brennan is the soul of Hank Panky, and the voice of Hank Panky.
Steve, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to do this.
My pleasure. You'll be receiving your complimentary tub of butter.
Delicious. As long as it's land no lakes.
Yes, black market. Yeah, Turkmenistan.
I only take my butter black market.
So other than, it's hard to imagine a life outside of this podcast, but apparently, Brendan, you have one, and you are in a new play that is getting rave reviews. Why don't you just tell us all about it?
Absolutely. I am in a new play, written by and starring Emmy Award-winning director and actor Dorothy Lyman, who is just a tour de force in terms of her stage craft and presence in the room, and just sort of dynamite personality as a human being. And she is one of the more inspiring people I've ever crossed paths with in my life, and been very blessed to work with her. And this is my first time working with her on stage, and she's just such a giving scene partner, and so flawless and smooth, and just so real. It's a actor workshop intensive to be with her on stage. The play, should have said the title 15 minutes ago when I started talking, is in the Bleak Midwinter, and we are running through September 23rd, which is a nice little 16 show run, which is nice. And it's a kind of a kitchen sink family drama, sort of in the Eugene O'Neill, Arthur Miller, Shayla Delaney sort of genre of playwriting, true to life. It's heartbreaking in a lot of ways. Had moments of brevity and levity, and it's great. It's a really beautiful play, and we've been, like you said, we've actually gotten some really great reviews to start the run off, which is exciting.
And we'll list all those reviews and so forth on the show page. I was doing some prep for this. I did notice the origin of it's a 19th century Christmas carol, British Christmas. Has that been referred to in your production, or am I like completely off base here?
No, so she got the title from that.
Okay.
I think the title is a sort of homage reference to that, but it's not referenced in the play. There's no point where anyone says like, oh, or the carol is referenced. I think it's if you read the lyrics of that piece, it sort of paints this picture of it gives you the idea of the landscape and the sort of tone of the piece, and it's like, it's upstate New York, which you called home. Apparently in the same neighborhood almost as Dorothy.
Yes.
Which is just, the world and the universe is so funny sometimes.
Yes.
But so it's upstate New York, and during the winters it is a kind of harsh landscape, and I think that's sort of what the point of the title is. But in reality, it doesn't really we don't really reference the carol ever directly. I think it's just more of setting the stage.
Do you talk about like being on the tundra? That's what I used to say. When I would go walk my dog in the winter, I had ski glasses to go over my glasses, and a mouth thing, and it gets pretty bitter up there. A friend sent me in the last couple of winters like 40 below. Not for the faint-hearted.
Yeah, I'll say. I think that's, the point of the play is this elderly matriarch of a family. Her husband has passed away within the last year, and she's left on a farm, to sort of tend it and run it all on her own, and would have it no other way. But it turns out her kids and possibly the grandkids want it differently, and it's a real. It's one of those things I think everyone goes through at some point in their life too. The elderly parents relocating, taking care of them in their later years. It's very true to life, and I think it resonates with a lot of people. Already a few people have come up after and said, I have my own mother who's refusing to leave her home, and we can't take care of her, we're worried for her there, and I think it really resonates with people to see that struggle kind of put in the foreground.
Okay, well, great. Again, runs through the 23rd. Is that correct?
Yes, through the 23rd at Theater 54, which is part of Shetler Studios on 54th Street.
And we are on 54th Street. Another wild coincidence, but on the other side of town.
I did not even think about that until right now. That's fascinating. Life is just a self-contained little snow globe.
And speaking of snow globes, let us now return to a man who could probably spend hours looking at one of those little worlds, shaking it up and down. Mr. Hank Panky. This is part 1B of the battle for the soul of Hank Panky. And away we go.
There are people here to see you.
Gladys, there are always people here to see me. You can't get a kidder.
No, this lady you found a job for last month, a Miss Jiblets.
Ah, Miss Jiblets, the daring dirigible pilot? The femme fatale of flying flagships? Send her right in.
She's with 2 other people.
We'll send them all in. You know what they say. The more dirigible enthusiasts, the merrier.
Yes, Hank.
Come in. Miss Amanda Jiblets. How the heck are you?
I'm doing okay, Mr. Panky.
Well, it's great to see you. And who are these 2 degenerates you've brought with you today? They don't appear particularly abject, but looks can be deceiving.
These people aren't necessarily down on their luck.
No. As a matter of fact, I'm quite satisfied with my station, other than a potential cat allergy problem. I'm Eugene Crowley. I work with Amanda, Miss Jiblets. I do social media and associated technology at the company and answer directly to Phil Whitney.
And this is Mrs. Letitia Mugsy. Her husband also works with us.
And nice to meet you too. I feel so much better now that I know there's a full-blown dumpster fire of a human being with us today.
Actually, she's crying because things are bleak for some down at the job you got me, Pie in the Face Incorporated.
Pie in the Face Incorporated? I love that place! I don't know why I didn't see it as the perfect fit for you, Miss Jiblets, right from the start. With you being someone who enjoys spending time up in the air, and Pie's at that place constantly up in the air, how could it not work? Ah, I must have been off my A-game that day.
But you see, Mr. Panky, that's the problem. Well, not for Miss Jiblets or myself, but...
Let me explain, Eugene.
Well, okay. You're probably better at explaining things anyway, so maybe I'll just work on my iPad.
Mr. Panky, Pie in the Face Incorporated is being bought out.
What?
Oh, there now, Letitia. It'll be okay, don't you worry. Mr. Panky will find a way.
That's right. Finding a way is what I do. I've found more ways than you can possibly imagine. Some are ways out, some are ways down, and some I couldn't say for the life of me where I thought you were going to end up, you crazy son of a But without fail, I do find a way! Now tell me what's going on at Pie in the Face.
They say the company's not relevant. Nobody thinks Pies in the Face are funny anymore.
Oh, but that's outrageous! Pies in the Face are hilarious! Who doesn't treasure Laurel and Hardy, or the Keystone Cops, or the Three Stooges? It's despicable that some faceless conglomerate would think of snuffing out the candle of such a historic, upstanding operation in the name of empty corporate progress. So, who are these gutless, sniveling blackguards taking over the company?
Well, that's Cat Videos Incorporated. Perhaps you've heard of them. They're making...
Cat Videos, Inc.? I love those guys! They crack me up! Did you see the one where the cat is riding on the merry-go-round and then grabs the brass ring? I mean, wowie kazazowie! How do they pull that stuff off anyway? What did I say? Ma'am, is it something about merry-go-rounds? Did your mother not let you ride them as a child, instead perhaps making you steal kumquats off the local grocer's shelf?
Oh, Mr. Panky, please, have some common decency. It's okay, Letitia. Where's the ladies' room?
It's down the hall on your left. You can't miss it. I tacked my framed drawing of a belly dancer to the door myself.
Come on, Letitia. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hank? What the hell is going on in there? Have you invited women again into your office to watch soap operas?
No, Pops! I'm way done with that scene. Susan Lucci is dead to me. I don't know what's going on exactly. A client came back to see me and she brought some people along. Potential clients, I figured. But this one woman completely loses it at the mention of merry-go-rounds.
Merry-go-rounds?
Who knows? It takes all types. But don't worry, I'll get this all straightened out ipso facto.
Ipso facto? That's some kind of obscure legal term.
Well, that's because I'm about ready to lay down the law right now. I've got Irwin sitting here right in front of me, and he's going to give me the lowdown. We'll keep you posted. So, Irwin. What the heck is...
It's Eugene.
What?
You called me Irwin. My name is Eugene.
Eugene? Eugene. Are you sure you didn't introduce yourself as Irwin?
No. I sometimes forget internet passwords, but I'm not in the habit of mistaking my name. Perhaps you misheard.
Not likely. They don't call me Eagle Ears Panky for nothing.
Actually, eagles are not particularly distinguished for their hearing. It's more about their eyesight.
All right, John Audubon. Just tell me what's going on.
Okay, well then. Well, you see, it's a bit of a long story.
What do you mean it's a bit of a long story? Wait, are you saying we have a cliffhanger here? That you suckered me into this whole ridiculous plot just to make me wait until next week to find out if some blubbering battle axe ever makes it out of the bathroom? Holy smokes, just when I thought it couldn't get any more frustrating, Monosson throws in a cliffhanger. First the robot sends me notes, and now this. If only I didn't have hungry mouths to feed. Wait a minute. The only hungry mouth I have to feed is my own. And I'm on a diet, so I'm gonna have to think about this. So tune in next week to hear the conclusion to the battle for Hank Panky's soul, or whatever that is. And moreover, to see if I'm even still here. Not that I don't like all the scotch I can drink, but every man has his limits. Later, folks.
You know, some people are cut out for the voiceover life, and maybe some aren't. And I'm starting to think our friend Carl LaFong might fall into the latter category. You know, last week he was ready to throw the mic out the window, and now he's hitting the bottle hard. I love his work, but I just don't want to be responsible for a tragedy, if you know what I mean. So Carl, if you're out there listening to this, sitting in your comfy chair, your bathtub, maybe got candles going, something like that. Maybe you're in your pontoon. Who knows? Whatever. Just know that everyone here at Steve Monosson's podcast of No Return loves you and wishes you wouldn't take things so hard. And, well, just for the record, the scotch, well, it wasn't free and will be coming out of your paycheck, but we'll settle accounts some other time. And so another episode comes to a close. As usual, we had a host of great players. Featured today on the Battle for the Soul of Hank Panky, parts 1 and A and B were in order of appearance. Our special guest on today's program, Mr. Brennan Lowery, as Mr. Hank Panky. Ms. Meghan Partridge as the ever-glamorous Gladys. Mr. Mario X Soto as Hank's no-nonsense father, Frank Panky. Miss Jessica Webb as the eternally resilient Miss Jiblets. Meghan Partridge again as the inexplicably histrionic Mrs. Mugsy. And finally, Brennan Lowery doing double duty as the voice of the technically savvy yet socially maladroit Eugene Crowley. All right, folks. Well, I'm going to wrap this up as I promised a few hundred words ago. If you're in New York this week, be sure to check out In the Bleak Midwinter, written by and starring Ms. Dorothy Lyman, and featuring our very own Brennan Lowery. You don't want to miss that. And finally, one more note. This is it, I promise. In the interest of not spreading blatant misinformation, Turkmenistan is actually not a landlocked country. It borders the Caspian Sea, and the Caspian Sea borders it to the west. But, and this is a big but, I have found no evidence whatsoever that the Turkmenistan government has made its people aware that it is not a landlocked country, nor that it has access to a large body of water of any kind, as this would threaten their whole, land, no lakes, social and economic programming it's so heavily invested in. Turkmenistan is known for its unusually repressive government, but denying to its populace that it has a shoreline of several hundred miles, well, this takes repression to a whole new level. And on that upbeat note, we'll see you next time. Until we meet again, be well. Ciao. Bye.